Apika pika, ame kukumi nona, iwono wi, no vila gumu. Ami wono wi, no vila gumu. Ami wono wi, no vila gumu. Kete gore, eme ya nuka magu. Ene kuwa, vila nuka namu. Apika pika, ame kukumi nona, iwono wi, no vila gumu.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time of day it is where you are as you listen to this message. I pray that your mind, your body, and your spirit are open and receptive to hearing, accepting, and responding to words of wisdom. Ashe. This is the Orisa Lifestyle Academy. I'm your instructor, Obafemi Origunwa, and today I want to share a brief lesson on the difference between spiritual empowerment and self-esteem building. And so the simple title of our conversation today is Orisa is not a self-esteem program. That's the one thing I want to establish. Real clear. Orisa is not a self-esteem program. And what do I mean by that? Back in the day, we were in middle school and high school and stuff like that. There was a real strong movement towards building self-esteem amongst young people, especially young people in the inner city from disadvantaged backgrounds. People who had, were latchkey kids, people who were on public assistance, people who lived in public housing, so on and so forth, right? There was all these different studies done that said that these folks were disadvantaged because they were their situation not only kind of crippled them in economic or sociological terms, but mentally it left these folks with a lowered sense of self-worth or a lowered sense of self-esteem. So we created all these different ways to make people feel better about themselves. And there's, statements that survive that movement or that ideology, stuff like saying, black is beautiful, right? Black is beautiful. It's a true statement, and I stand by it. I agree, black is beautiful. But it falls within the category of, self-esteem building. Black is beautiful doesn't translate to, black folks owning banks. Black is beautiful doesn't translate to black folks having, global communications systems. Black is beautiful doesn't translate to black folks having global, judiciary or any kind of of a global court that we can bring our oppressors to task on the things that they stole from us for hundreds of years in a row. See, that's real different from black is beautiful. Those things are about power. That's empowerment. Okay, so we'll get into that in a little bit. But just really quick, you can see the difference. Black is beautiful is great. I feel great. I feel good about being able to say that I'm black and I'm beautiful. But that is radically different from saying that I'm on a track to establishing an international black-owned and controlled bank or currency or something like that, right? And so this is significant within the realm of Orisa lifestyle because, the whole Egyptian, if I can call it, Egyptology movement was really about black, self-esteem building. This idea that the Greeks didn't do everything first. As a matter of fact, the Greeks didn't do anything first. And Christianity wasn't first. And Islam wasn't first. And Judaism wasn't first. And, this ability for us to really claim all of the great civilizations of the world makes you feel good, and so it's gone beyond Egyptology to, kind of Afrocentric thought in general. If you look at the original Chinese culture, the original Japanese culture, the original Hindu culture, the original Egyptian culture, all the great accomplishments of the world, we take claim of, of those things. But it's the same as saying black is beautiful at the end of the day. We were there first. We were there first. We were there first. All right, yeah, that was 9,000 years ago. We've been getting trounced consecutively every battle for 500 years. We're just getting dragged by our teeth, by our nose, by our anything. We don't have a response to any offense, right? So it's cute to be able to say that we were first. We were the original Chinese, while the Chinese come in and, mine anything and everything that they want, from rhinoceros to oil to gold to people. They black is beautiful is a cute statement, but it has nothing to do with actual empowerment, right? So now, with that, we got a good number of people who are practitioners of Orisa lifestyle who subscribe to this ideology of self-esteem building, and we call it empowerment, right? We call it empowerment, but it's nothing more than symbolism. It's superficial, it's empty, has no roots, and it does not translate to power, right? And Orisa is a real power. Orisa is not a self-esteem building program. It's about real spiritual empowerment. Okay. The other day, case in point, I shared something on my personal Facebook page, actually on the Orisa lifestyle page as well. Simple statement: beauty is not Oshun's superpower. Beauty is not Oshun's superpower. And it was nice to see a good number of people, a good percentage, overwhelming percentage of the responses to that particular post were in favor of that assertion. People were like, yes, that's exactly right. Oshun is not, a beauty queen. That's not her claim to fame. That's not her superpower, right? And there were people who disagreed, right? Who felt like, oh no, everything about Oshun is beauty, beauty, right? But the real telltale sign that, our ideology really tends towards this self-esteem building and not real empowerment can be found in how people know what they know about Oshun, right? Because you read people say, oh, Oshun is all about beauty, but how do you know that? Why do you say that? What's the basis of that statement? And if you just push a little bit, you just push a little bit to clarify with someone, how do you know that exactly? What's the basis of that? You're going to find 99.9% of the time, people are going to give you more rhetoric. Almost nobody is going to refer back to the sacred text. Almost nobody, right? Almost nobody is going to be able to tell you that in this particular Odu Ifa, it says, Oshun, you are great because of your beauty. It was through beauty that Oshun conquered this. It was through beauty that Oshun overcame that. It was through beauty that Oshun uplifted these and those. You're not going to find anybody who tells you that because they don't know the sacred text, right? All they want is the feel good. Oshun, because of Oshun, I can look good. I who have maybe been self-conscious about my looks for my whole life, have finally found a goddess of beauty who looks like me, or who looks closer to me than Venus or Aphrodite, for example, right? And I'm not trying to shame anybody or make anyone feel bad if that's what you get from Oshun, but I'm saying that those kinds of ideas and people who operate from that perspective need to be relegated. They need to be clearly understood as people who need self-esteem, not as people who are power brokers. Okay. And they will be able to participate in the tradition accordingly, because Orisha is not a self-esteem program. It is a spiritual empowerment program. And empowerment always, always, always comes out of a system. If you don't have a system, there is no power. If beauty is part of the power, it's going to be so because it comes out of a system that values beauty and positions beauty and utilizes beauty strategically in relationship to the other elements in the system. So just being able to say that Oshun is beautiful, well, that doesn't translate to any kind of action. All right. So when you look at sacred text, for example, sacred text is by definition institutionalized. See, I can have an opinion of that goes anyway. My opinion actually can change according to who I'm talking to. Right? I'm not bound by anything because of my opinion. But if I'm going to say that this is law, well, that needs to come out of the sacred text, and that sacred text needs to be known and understood by a body of people whose responsibility it is to know that text. And so if I claim this particular Odu says that Oshun is about this or that, there's a body of people who can validate or invalidate that statement because it comes out of a body of work that we all agree upon is definitive. And then based on that, we can also, we can also say that, yes, this sacred text says that Oshun uses beauty in this way or that way. And then we can demonstrate it. We can get the elements that are listed in that Odu and we can perform the sacrifice. Or we can get the elements that are named in that Odu and we can prepare the medicine. And we can watch as that sacrifice and or that medicine creates the desired outcome as stated in that Odu. That's not opinion. That's not about how I feel. That's about the law of Ifa. And the law helps us to conduct power. Okay? So Orisha is about power. It's about moving power. It's about cultivating power. It's about refining power. If you feel good about it and your self-esteem is uplifted as a result of your participation, which it will be, that's fantastic. But the goal is not self-esteem building. Okay? So the difference between empowerment and building self-esteem is radical. Empowerment, by definition, will expose you to and give you greater access to power systems. It allows you to participate in the activities that will actually increase your influence and increase your ability to execute things and go from point A to point B. Self-esteem building just makes you feel good about wherever you are, which is important. It is important. You have to have a certain level of motivation and inspiration to be able to just enjoy life and to be able to find the energy to participate in the power system. Again, I'm not against building self-esteem, but we need to make the distinction. Orisha lifestyle is not focused on self-esteem building. The objective of Orisha lifestyle is not to build self-esteem or confidence. The objective of this tradition is to build power, to cultivate personal power and collective power. Okay? And so in the Orisa Lifestyle Academy, our business is empowerment. We're working every day to give you greater degrees of access to the knowledge and the practices that are associated with Orisha power. Not image, not concept, not symbol. But what are you going to do tomorrow that will give you a greater degree of access and control as it pertains to the ancestral wisdom that's been passed down from time immemorial. I'm looking for leaders. I'm on the search globally for leaders, for people who are committed to changing the world through positive influence. If that's you, I invite you to visit orishalifestyle.com and get enrolled in a program that can help you to start live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you are destined to serve. Ashe.
No irá,